Now, a 93-year-old Vasily steps out of the back seat and looks super confused. The people that had found his skis really noted that there was footprints leading to Lake Michigan. There was no footprints leading out, that it's UFOs or time travel. Super strange disappearances is a very big theme in true crime and also on my channel. Disappearances are so strange to me, and the more I started researching, the more down a rabbit hole I went. And out of that, I got 2 stories of some crazy things happening. So, stay tuned for some craziness. Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to Code 187. Today's video is a little bit on the more paranormal, weird, spooky side of things, but it's still true crime and it's still just super crazy. So, today I'm going to tell you about 2 different men who went missing and then showed back up again. Right? Crazy. Okay, so let's get started. In 1991, in a small city in the eastern part of Romania, a 63-year-old farmer, Vasile Gorgos, tells his family he is going to go on a small business trip. Nothing unusual about this. He trades cattle, and he already did the same trip multiple times. So, very ordinary things. Always returning in a few days. As always, he would make the trip by train. He even already bought his train ticket. And he left that very same day. Then he vanishes. Just never returning home from this business trip. His family reported this disappearance to authorities and hoped that sooner or later he would show back up. However, he didn't. And the police couldn't find anything out about the whereabouts. They couldn't find anything abnormal. He was just gone. So everybody assumed that he was met with foul play and held a lot of memorial services in his honor. Like every so often, they would have a memorial service for him. So 30 years. Yep, I said that right. 30 years went by. On Sunday, the 29th of August, 2021, a car stops in front of Vasily's family home. The same house where he used to live 30 years ago. Now, a 93-year-old Vasily steps out of the back seat and looks super confused. His family was absolutely stunned. When they asked Vasily where he was and where he'd been the last 30 years, he replies that he was home. They noticed that he was wearing the exact same clothes as he left in 30 years ago. His train ticket is even still in his pocket from that day. Everyone was so stunned by him showing back up that they didn't get a description of the person driving the car or a license plate or anything. Also, the driver never got out of the car. From the moment that Vasily got out, the car drove away, and no one really understood what this driver was doing. So for 30 years, this family had so many questions and waiting for answers, and then he finally comes home 30 years later, and there's just more questions and less answers than they started with. Where had Vasily been this whole time? What happened to him? Who dropped him off? How can he still be wearing the same clothes he disappeared in? Had he forgotten everything that had happened in the last 30 years? It's very strange for him to be in the same exact clothes with the same exact train ticket. So there's lots of theories about what happened. One of them is that Vasily left on his own, that he wanted to get away, maybe that he was having an affair or had a whole other family. He decided to leave and then decided to come back, or as he was getting older in his age, I mean, he's 93 now, maybe they couldn't take care of him. Maybe his loved ones had passed and he just decided to return to his original home. Others think that it may have been like him lying. There is some questionable things. Some people believe that he didn't return in the same clothes and that the train ticket is not true. There was some problems in interpreting from the language to English. So there was some issues with trying to figure out what had happened. But from all accounts, everything that I found, he was telling the truth. Like, he did show up in the same clothes and he had that same train ticket. So people think, did he leave on his own? Or was there something more paranormal going on here? Some people speculated that maybe he had done something wrong and there was people after him. So to protect his family, he left. Some people theorized that maybe he was in prison and that is why he got the same clothes with that ticket in his pocket back at the end of his release. But there is no documentation that he was ever in prison. And we know our prison system is very documented. So I don't understand how that's a theory. I don't believe that. Some people have wondered if he was kidnapped and they ran tests on him and he doesn't remember any of it. I mean, that's a theory. People have definitely speculated on the paranormal side that he went missing because of alien abduction, a time travel or a time warp, that something happened for him and it was only a second to him and 30 years for us. Now, Vasily was very taken care of during this time. He didn't look dirty. He was fed. He didn't have any medical problems except for what happens when you get older. And of course, the memory loss. He lost 30 years. But from all accounts, he was living somewhere and being taken care of. So it's a very strange case, but we just don't have a lot of answers. So what do you believe happened in this case? Now, there is still more. I'm going to tell you of a second case where someone went missing and showed right back up. Now, this second case is pretty popular, definitely among paranormal enthusiasts, but it's so strange, and I just had to tell you guys about it. I found this one from Vasily's story, and they're kind of similar, and people kind of theorize that this is all happening to certain people. So here we go. In February 1978, Steven Kubacki set out to go skiing. The 23-year-old student was learning German at Hope College in Michigan. However, Steven never returned from his skiing trip. This was supposed to be a 1 or 2 day excursion, basically skiing around Michigan, and kind of seeing the sights and hiking, I guess, as you will. He was reported missing by his worried family a day after he was due to return from his trip. Steven went missing in the Michigan area. So let me tell you a little bit of history about the area that he went missing from. Now, this is in the USA, and it is an area known as the Lake Michigan Triangle. The Lake Michigan Triangle, or sometimes referred to as the Michigan Triangle, spans from Manitowoc, Wisconsin to Louisburg, Michigan, and then south to Benton Harbor. The triangle was accounted for numerous weird, mysterious events, I guess you could say, beginning in 1891, when the ship named Thomas Hum set off across Lake Michigan for lumber. The Hum disappeared along with its crew and 7 sailors. Not even a trace of this boat has ever been found. Now, people speculate on the world's triangles. As we know, with the Bermuda Triangle, this Michigan Triangle, people speculate that this is a hub for paranormal activity. Like in the Bermuda Triangle, people go missing in this Michigan Triangle. I was watching a very interesting video about how some people believe that the shape of a triangle is basically demonic, or has some kind of power. Now, I don't know if I truly believe this at all, but people are saying that triangles are very dark and mysterious. So, could this be what happened to Steven? So, after Steven went missing, search teams, they were all over. They searched the area he was headed to and along where he went. They did find his skis and his skiing poles on the beach of Lake Michigan and footprints on the ice leading up to the lake. So, this part of Michigan was frozen over and snowy at the time that Steven went up there. Of course, he was skiing. And the people that had found his skis really noted that there was footprints leading to Lake Michigan. There was no footprints leading out. So people have wondered, did he fall in and maybe drowned under the ice? Now, search teams say that when they were doing aerial searches and ground searches, they never noticed any break in the ice. They never noticed any footprints on the ice or anything like that. It was like he walked up to Lake Michigan and disappeared. Search dogs would go out and they would head towards Lake Michigan, following his scent, and disappear. So later in the searches, they did find his backpack, and this was in the same general area as the skis. Now, what was weird about this was that these search teams found the skis and the ski poles. They said that this backpack was nowhere near that, and then it just showed up there. And people were like, there was no backpack there, but mean, you can't explain it. So there was no other evidence of Stephen. It's just like he just poof, vanished. At this point, many thought he had drowned, like I said, in the ice, or he succumbed to the elements and unfortunately lost his life. Stephen Kubacki was missing for 15 months without any trace. Then, on May 5th, 1979, Stephen walked up to his father's door and rang the bell. He was surprised to discover that he had been missing for so long. Stephen said to his father that he didn't remember much. He woke up in a Pittsfield area, basically in a field, and he had family in Pittsville. So he walked to Pittsville and his aunt took him home. This is 40 miles from his father's house and over 700 miles from where he went missing. He said he was laying in a meadow wearing clothes that weren't his. He had a shirt on from a race, like a foot race, that he supposedly had been in but didn't remember. He had a small satchel beside him with a bunch of maps that weren't his. Where he woke up, I said, was over 700 miles from Lake Michigan. So how did he get there? Reporters asked repeatedly if he would talk to someone. He said he didn't need to because he didn't have any psychological problems and he had nothing to say about the time that he was missing. In that satchel, there was trinkets, thinking that he had went all over the US. There was even some as far as California. And he went missing in Michigan. Now, Stephen lived. He is doing great. He went on to study psychology and write a couple books, basically on quantum physics and science that I would have no idea about. So many people speculate a lot of the same things with Stephen as they did with Vasily. They wonder if it's, him leaving on his own volition and then coming back. I mean, did this man run away from his life and decide, I want to be back home? I don't know why he would have the inkling to lie about it. Maybe he was worried about all that media attention, but he was safe and fine. So people, of course, with Stephen had basically said maybe it was that triangle. UFOs, ghosts, all kinds of things, time travel. And people speculate more on the paranormal than not. So what do you think happened to these two men? Do you think it was a paranormal happening? Do you think it was they left and then just decided to return? Do you believe that it's UFOs or time travel? I did many videos of missing people. One about a lot of young men going missing. And I stated in that video that it definitely could have been alien abductions. I'm not ruling that out. So is this what is happening to people all over? Will they show back up? Will they not? We don't really know. And I definitely will update you if it happens. So thank you guys for listening to these two stories. I know this is something a little different than what I normally do, but it's still true crime and it's still creepy and it's still terrifying. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.
They oddly found another woman's remains near her.
Okay.
So now they're like, who is this and what's going on? At this point, he covered her mouth and nose and was trying to get her to stop breathing.
Mm-hmm.
The men will like annihilate their whole family and take the kids first.
The murderer or attempted murder has made a couple of mistakes, okay?
Hi guys, I just wanted to say I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like any of the content for Code 187, please click that subscribe button, that like button, that share button. Help us out, help us grow. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms. Yeah, check us out on there. Give us some ratings. Tell us what you think. We're also across every social media on Code 187. So we're on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think that's it. And of course, YouTube. So please, please, please subscribe if you like our content and spread the word. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.